Looking for a home but don't know what to do? Andrew Klank's got you covered.
I helped her buy 3 different rental properties in PG County back then. What she did was, as her rent started being able to increase what she was charging, she took all the extra money and put it towards her mortgages to pay them down quicker.
Also, holistic nutritionist Jackie Rice provides useful tips on kitchen etiquette.
One of the things I do is food safety. And a lot of people don't realize that food safety isn't just for that Wendy's or that McDonald's down the street. Food safety is for everyone. It's for the home chef. Everyone needs to know how to be safe and how to take care of their family and their friends so that they don't make people sick.
Hey everyone, and thanks for tuning in. This is Around Town with the Laurel Board of Trade, where we shine a spotlight on some of the amazing local businesses and charitable organizations in our community. I'm your host, Mike Mondy, real estate consultant with Keller Williams Realty Center, and I'm also one of the directors for the Laurel Board of Trade. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today I'm here with Andrew Klank, longtime Laurel resident and Vice President of Lending with Origin Point Mortgage. Welcome and thanks for being with us today on the show, Andrew.
Thanks a lot, Mike. It's a pleasure being here.
All right, so tell me, Andrew, what inspired you to get into the mortgage business?
Well, it's interesting. I actually kind of fell into the mortgage business. Back in 2004, one of my close friends just came over one day and he started talking all about the business that he'd just gotten into and really convinced me to give it a try. And so I did. I got into the mortgage business at that time and it just really kind of took off for me. And the reason why I've been in it for so long to this date is because it's been such a rewarding job. In my profession, I'm just really able to help people change their lives, really put them in great positions, and it's just very rewarding to be able to help people in such a big way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What would you say is one of the most rewarding customer success stories that you've had over the years?
That's a good question. There's a lot of stories, I'll tell you. Anybody who thought that they wouldn't be able to buy, and I'm able to show them that they can and actually get them to a house and really just change their lives, it's amazing. But if I was going to pick one story, one of my favorite ones, because I think it's so impactful to others, is one of my very first clients back in 2004. I helped her buy 3 different rental properties back then. And she, to this day is just a custodian at one of the monuments in DC. And so, she doesn't make a ton of money. She was just very good with budgeting and saving money. And so I helped her buy 3 different rental properties in PG County back then. But the cool thing is, because it was so long ago and I've kept in touch with her, I've been able to see just how much that can turn into over the long run. So what she did was, as her rent started being able to increase what she was charging, she took all the extra money and put it towards her mortgages to pay them down quicker. So when I talked to her last, probably in 2021, she had paid off her current home, 2 of her rental properties, and had like 4 payments left on her last property. Now this is somebody, even at that time, was only making about $78,000 a year, but she owns 4 single-family houses in PG County. Those houses, on the lowest end probably rent for $3,000 a month. So that's over $100,000 a year in rental income. And since they're free and clear now, she makes more money renting those properties than she does at her job, which she'll have as a really nice retirement nest egg. Yeah. On top of, let's say those houses on the lowest end are worth $400,000. She has $1.6 million in assets. And to think that somebody, who just started with nothing could have that as a retirement, it's just amazing, and I'm just so proud of her.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's
right?
A big success story.
Yeah.
Well, so folks that are buying a house today, what are ways that they can have their offer stand out when they're making offers in today's market?
That's a great question. So the most important thing to start off with is having a very good real estate agent and loan officer, somebody who's really good at what they do. The better the people are at what they do that you work with, the better the results you're going to get. So when it comes to putting together an offer for you to make you stand out, it's kind of like when you're trying to buy a house, it's like applying for a job. And the loan officer and the real estate agent have to build up your resume for you. And so it's very important to have somebody who's good at what they do so they can really do a good job at that for you to make you really stand out in front of the other buyers. Now, one of the big things that I do for people right now is we do something called pre-underwriting, where we will underwrite them before they actually find the house, which is not normal. Usually you find a house you want, you've been pre-approved, and then after you're under contract, they're going to underwrite you to see if you actually get approved for your loan. The problem with this is that 20% of mortgages are actually denied in underwriting. So that's 1 out of 5 people, and that's kind of big, when you think about it. Which puts risk for yourself buying a house, because what if you find out 3 weeks into the process that you're not qualified and that you get denied for the loan? What are you going to do? Maybe you've already put your notice in for where you're working at and so on, or where you're living at. And but the same thing for the seller, 3 weeks into the process of you being under contract, they find out that you're getting denied for your loan. Now they have to find a new buyer. And that's a big risk to them, because they might be buying another house and they've already scheduled the closing to be right around the same time, which is very common, in our business. So that's why when you hear about people saying that cash is king when, making an offer, when you get a loan for a mortgage, it turns into cash, So to the seller with cash, it's the same thing, but the reason why they like cash is because there's no risk. Yeah. You're not getting underwritten if you're coming in with cash. So that's the reason why cash is a bigger thing. So when we pre-underwrite them, we take a lot of that risk away. And instead of giving a pre-approval letter, we give you what's called a loan commitment letter, which you normally only get after you've been underwritten, and it means that you're ready to close on a loan and there's no more risk left over. So it really helps people stand out by doing that. And that's just one thing.
Yeah, okay. Well, what would you say is one of the main mistakes that you see home buyers today making? Yeah.
The biggest thing is being really realistic with yourselves when you're trying to buy a house on, can I afford this payment? There's a big difference between what I qualify for to buy and what I should spend. Because if you spend the maximum amount that you qualify for, that means you're going to be paycheck to paycheck after that, because a lender will really let you go pretty far out there, and we don't set the rules, right? That's, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they set all the rules for the loan programs, right. But they set that threshold really high. And if that's all the income you have and you're using 50% of your, not even your take home, this is pre-tax money, you only have very little left over. So like when it comes to people like, when you think, okay, right now I'm spending too much and I need to cut back. If the majority of your money is going to a fixed expense like a house, there's only very little you can do by cutting back to make things better, because all your money is going towards your house. So that's why I'm saying it's very important to make sure you have the right payment up front, because afterwards there's going to be a lot less that you can do to really bring your budget back to where it needs to be.
Yeah.
So
tell me about somebody who's not ready to buy right now. What kind of stuff should they be focusing on to get ready?
Good question. Well, the very first thing is honestly to talk to somebody like me, to talk to a loan officer. Because even if you're not going to buy for a year from now or so on, what I do with my clients is I walk you through what it would look like if you bought a house right now. And I literally take your application, I find a house with you that you could see yourself living in, and I put together a lot of scenarios to show you what it would look like to buy that house right now. And what that does is that, let's say you have a year from now that you're going to buy or whatever, you've already seen the numbers. So and we'll discuss it at great length, what do I need to do from now until the time I'm ready to buy to put me in a great position to buy? So the longer you have in between then, from when you talk to the lender you actually buy, that gives you more time to make changes like saving more for a down payment or getting that credit score a little bit higher or paying off some debt, whatever it is, Yep.
So let's talk the Maryland market. Like, what kind of changes are you seeing right now in our market here in the state of Maryland?
Yeah, that's a good question. So right now in Maryland, Maryland's been really kind of behind. When you hear on the news when people are saying that it's more of a seller's market, Maryland, it's always about the supply of inventory. And Maryland has been one of the states that's had the smallest supply of inventory available. The inventory right now is the most it's been since, I think it's 2019. We're not in an exact buyer's market right now in Maryland, but I would say we're teetering on it being an even playing field between sellers and buyers, and actually starting to kind of, in certain markets, starting to lean more towards the buyer. You know, that doesn't mean you can go buy a house $50,000 or $100,000 under, but it does mean you can get a lot better terms right now than you could have in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Well, so tell me now on the other side of things, not purchase, but if someone's thinking about refinancing, what kind of things should they be thinking about first?
Well, if you've bought a house in the last 3 years, so since 2022 when interest rates started going up, you should definitely have a loan officer like myself monitoring your mortgage for you, looking for possible refinance opportunities. I don't think rates have quite dropped right now to the point where it makes sense for a lot of people to refinance. Some, yes, but unless your rate is around 7% or higher, most likely we're close for you for refinancing, but we're not quite there. And that can change in a matter of days. You know, something in the news comes out and it just changes the markets, and the interest rate could drop enough. Yeah. And you need somebody that's really watching it. But what I will tell you, people get calls, from a lot of like spam lenders and stuff like that just get your information from public records. And they will try to convince you to refinance right now, and they'll tell you to spend money to pay points to buy down your rate. I absolutely do not recommend that. Because the thing is that rates are going to come down more later on, and you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money getting a lower rate for right now just to end up refinancing again later on and having to spend more money on top of that, because it will end up being a waste.
Yeah.
So just working with somebody that will help guide you on that, so that way if you do refinance right now, we do it as cheap as possible, because you're probably going to refinance again later on too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So tell us, what kind of stuff, when you work with clients, what do you do working with clients to help make things less stressful for them?
The biggest thing that I do is I educate them on everything. I want all of my clients to know exactly how everything works and understand the choices that are in front of them, and to understand it so well that they can make the choice and know why they're making the choice and feel really good about it.
Yeah.
I want to empower them to be able to do that on their own. I'll give them advice, but I want them to really understand the why behind it and feel really good about it. And that's what makes it so stressful, is there's so many moving parts in real estate, and a lot of people don't take the time to truly educate them, so that way they really understand it, and so it's not so overwhelming.
Yeah.
So
tell us, kind of in closing, how can our viewers connect with you?
The best way is to, you could either call my cell phone, text me, or also you could email me at andrew.klank@originpoint.com. Any one of those three. If you want to text me first or email and set up just reach out to me about when we can set up a consultation to get on the phone and discuss everything that you're trying to do. That's one of the best ways of doing it. So any one of those three ways, I would say is good.
Okay. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for introducing yourself to the community and letting us know more about what you do. You're definitely an asset to have to the community, and thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Next up, we'll be talking with another Laurel Board of Trade member, Jackie Rice, founder of Whole Well Work.
The city of Laurel has faced extreme heat this summer, with temperatures reaching the 100s. It is not only uncomfortable, but dangerous.
Extreme heat is the #1 death in the U.S. for heat-related incidents. Very important to stay hydrated throughout the day, take breaks in the shade.
For this story and more like it, check out youtube.com/Laurel TV official.
Now here today, I'm with Jackie Rice, founder of Whole Well Work, a holistic culinary and wellness enterprise dedicated to nourishing both people and businesses from the inside out through healthy food, mindful living practices, and community-centered education. Welcome, Jackie, and thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Well, tell us, Jackie, what inspired you to start your own business?
So basically it was COVID. So COVID hit, I lost my job, and I realized that a lot of people were struggling with mental health, with physical health, and especially the culinary industry got hit really hard. And I wanted to create something that addressed everything, that addressed people and business from the whole aspect of them.
Okay. So tell us, how would you describe your company and what it is that you guys do?
So basically it's two segments. You have Whole Well Business and Whole Well Self. When it comes to Whole Well Business, it's looking at the whole business. It's looking at your financials. It's looking at your consumers. It's looking at your staffing. It's how can you be a whole, complete, well business. And then as far as the self, it's yourself, your physical, your nutritional, your emotional, your financial. How can you be a whole and well person? A lot of times we just look at one aspect of ourselves, like we're going on diets or we're doing this new fitness fad, but it's not just one thing. You have to be whole and well. You have to look at all aspects of yourself.
Okay. So what would be an example of something unique that you guys do in your business that it's a need that's not readily met out there in the marketplace?
Well, most people don't realize that one of the things I do is food safety. And a lot of people don't realize that food safety isn't just for that Wendy's or that McDonald's down the street. Food safety is for everyone. It's for the home chef. Everyone needs to know how to be safe and how to take care of their family and their friends so that they don't make people sick. Mm-hmm. And then also doing things like the self-care social that we did back during COVID, where we take different businesses who focus on different wellness-inspired genres. We did massage therapy, we did henna, we did books, just reaching out to people on the level that they are and showing them that there's a different way than how you've been taught usually.
Okay. Was some of that you were doing right here, like around in the community?
Yep, right here in Laurel.
Okay.
So I've also done the Safe Summer Nights program with the mayor, where we took teenagers 13 to 17 and had classes for them so that they could learn about food safety. Again, we did the self-care social, and I'm currently doing classes now. Like I have an upcoming class where we teach you how to grocery shop for your health and for your budget.
Okay. So I know as founder of any company, you go through challenges. What would you say is kind of one of the main challenges that you faced starting the company and keeping it going?
Definitely would be motivation and focus and realizing that, you know, yes, businesses fail, but you can't run a business scared. You have to do that hard thing. You have to keep pushing. And even though it's scary, if you wait until you're not scared, you're never going to get started. And it's just dive in and get it done.
Yeah, I hear you there. So tell me about, is there any particularly memorable customer story or testimonial that you can think of that you'd like to share with us?
Definitely my first client, her name's Leela, and she does gluten-free and sugar-free pastries and desserts, and she was trying to open up her production kitchen. And because she was trying to do it during COVID, what would normally take about 3 to 4 months ended up taking her almost 2 years. So she's paying rent in this facility that she's trying to get established during COVID, and, you know, dealing with vendors and plumbers and electricians, and it was a long and hard process. It was very time consuming, money consuming, and she stayed with it and she pulled through, and she's really successful now.
So tell us, what do you have coming down the pike in the way of new offerings, something that you want to share with the community?
Well, I definitely have the class about the grocery shopping, how you can grocery shop for your health and for your budget. But I also have classes about not mowing your medicine, where we talk about different plants that you might find in your backyard, where they're beneficial for your health and for your wellness also. So we also have yoga classes every Thursday. I do food safety for the home chef once a month. So we have lots of cool things going on.
Okay. And so in closing, how should people get in contact with you to learn more about your business, maybe book you, things like that?
Definitely go to any social media. I'm on everything. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and I'm Whole Work. And you can go to my website, www.wholewellwork.com. You can call me, 202-848-6263, or you can come see me, 312 Marshall Avenue, Suite 1005. It's the Laurel College Center building.
Jackie, thank you so much for being with us today, sharing more about yourself, sharing more about Whole Well Work and the good work that you do out in the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
My pleasure. And thank you for joining us today. Now, if you have a business or organization and would like to be featured, please reach out to us. We would love to learn more about you and shine the spotlight on you. Send us a message on Facebook or go to our website, laurelboardoftrade.org. Also on our website, you can learn more about the Laurel Board of Trade and all the many benefits and events that we sponsor, including Main Street Festival, which is always the Saturday before Mother's Day. We also invite you to join us for business networking every third Thursday of the month, online virtually, and in person once per quarter at one of our member businesses right here in Laurel. We have a powerful mix of business leaders that can help expand your network. Well, that's a wrap from the Laurel Board of Trade. Our tagline is small business, big ideas. Remember everybody, get out there and shop local, and we will see you next time.